It started with a gift, a simple porcelain doll for my daughter, Lily. Her grandmother found it in a dusty antique shop, its painted blue eyes and rosy cheeks a relic from a bygone era. Lily named her Rosie. At first, Rosie was just another toy in a sea of stuffed animals and plastic figures. She'd sit on the shelf in Lily's room, a silent, smiling spectator to our daily lives. The first odd thing happened about a week after Rosie arrived. I tucked Lily into bed, placing Rosie on the nightstand, her head tilted slightly to the left, just as Lily liked it. The next morning, when I went to wake Lily for school, Rosie was on the floor, propped up against the leg of the bed, her head tilted to the right. I didn't think much of it. Lily must have played with her after I left the room. Kids do that. But then it happened again. And again. I'd leave Rosie sitting in the miniature rocking chair, and I'd find her perched on the windowsill. I'd place her on the bookshelf, and she'd be back in the rocking chair, her tiny porcelain hands resting on her lap as if she'd been waiting for me. I started asking Lily about it. "Sweetheart, are you moving Rosie around at night?" Lily would just shake her head, her big innocent eyes wide with confusion. "No, Mommy, Rosie moves by herself." I laughed it off as a child's vivid imagination. It was cute, this little game she was playing. But the cuteness started to fade, replaced by a creeping unease. One evening, my husband Mark was working late. I was in the kitchen washing dishes, the gentle hum of the dishwasher filling the silence. Lily was fast asleep upstairs. I heard a faint sound from the living room, a soft, scraping noise, like porcelain on wood. My heart skipped a beat. I dried my hands, my mind racing. A mouse? The house settling. I peeked into the living room. Everything was still, but then I saw it. Earlier that day, Lily had left Rosie on the plush rug in the center of the room. Now she was sitting on the hearth of the fireplace about 10 feet away. Her painted smile seemed wider in the dim light, almost mocking. I felt a cold dread wash over me. I walked over, picked up the doll, and felt an unnatural chill from the porcelain. It was ice cold, despite the warmth of the room. I locked it in the downstairs closet, behind a stack of old board games. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think about it. That night, I was jolted awake by a scream. It was Lily. Mark and I rushed to her room. She was sitting bolt upright in bed, pointing a trembling finger at her doorway. "Rosie was watching me," she sobbed. I looked. There was nothing there. Mark flicked on the light. "It was just a bad dream, sweetie," he said, stroking her hair. But as he comforted her, my eyes drifted down the hallway, towards the closet door at the top of the stairs. It was slightly ajar. I knew I had closed it. I knew I had. The next day, Mark accused me of being paranoid, of scaring Lily with my own anxieties. To prove his point, he took Rosie out of the closet and set up a small camera in Lily's room. "See, we'll watch the footage tomorrow. It'll show Lily moving it, or you sleepwalking, or something completely normal." He was trying to be reassuring, but his voice had a slight tremor. He placed Rosie back on her shelf, her smile fixed and unchanging. We spent the day trying to act normal, but the tension was thick enough to cut with a knife. Every creak of the floorboards, every gust of wind against the windows, made us jump. That night, sleep was impossible. We lay in bed staring at the ceiling, listening. The silence was heavier, more profound than ever before. It was the kind of silence that feels like it's holding its breath. Around 3 a.m., a muffled thud came from Lily's room. Then a tiny, high-pitched giggle. It wasn't Lily's laugh. It was sharper, more brittle. Mark and I looked at each other, our faces pale in the moonlight filtering through the window. Without a word, we got up and crept to Lily's door. We pushed it open slowly. The room was dark, but the moonlight illuminated a horrifying scene. Lily was asleep, thankfully. But standing on the edge of her bed, looking down at her, was Rosie. The doll wasn't just standing there, its head was slowly, mechanically turning towards the door, towards us. And as it turned, the painted smile on its face seemed to stretch, to widen into a grotesque, knowing grin that wasn't there before. The rosy cheeks were gone, replaced by a pale, cracked surface. The blue eyes now looked like two black, empty pits. Mark grabbed my arm, pulling me back. He slammed the door shut, his breath coming in ragged gasps. We didn't need to see the camera footage. We knew. The thing in that room wasn't a doll. We grabbed Lily, wrapping her in a blanket, and ran. We didn't stop for clothes, for wallets, for anything. We just drove, leaving the house and everything in it behind. We never went back. We sold the house at a massive loss, telling the real estate agent there was a severe mold problem. It was the only lie we could think of. Sometimes, late at night, I wake up in a cold sweat. I can still hear that tiny, brittle giggle. I can still see that painted smile stretching in the dark. I check on Lily, who sleeps peacefully in her new room, a room with no dolls. And I wonder about the new family living in our old house. I wonder if they've found the doll on the shelf. I wonder if they notice when it moves. And I pray they get out before it does more than just smile when they're not looking. Thanks for tuning in to my story tonight. It's a chilling reminder that some things are best left in the past, collecting dust on an antique shop shelf. If you enjoyed this tale, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for more spooky stories. Stay safe out there and always check your corners. See you next time.